I don't know if you have seen this trending picture of this Unizik student that died. I saw this picture on Linda Ikeji's blog and I decided to open the comment section and check. Reading through the comments, I saw people bashing the hostel. What kind of policy is that? For those of you that did not see the post, this Unizik student went to her hostel. She misplaced the key to her hostel room. So she went to her hostel and she wanted to gain entrance. So the hostel porter, whoever is in charge of the hostel, told her that they have to pay the what I think there's a fine for everybody that misplaces their key. So there were 3 of them in her room, and the hostel is asking them to pay 40,000 naira each. That's the policy. That is the normal way. That's the policy. So this student of Unizik is diabetic, and she's dependent on insulin. Her medication is inside her room. Her hostel locked her out. Just back and forth that she eventually collapsed and they rushed her to the hospital and she died. So I opened the comment section. I'm seeing people saying things like, "What kind of hostel is that? This policy, what kind of policy is that?" Are you people serious right now? There is policy for everything. There is need for policies. Even in your house, there's rules, there's regulation. There's policy everywhere. In your workplace, as business owners, we all have policies in place. So I'm shocked people are bashing the hostel. What kind of policy is that? Yes, that policy to me is not even stiff. But the problem, however, is the interpreters of the policies. It is always the interpreters for me. Whoever is interpreting that policy is who I have a problem with. Do you understand? So you could take that policy and weigh it with the fact that somebody is dependent. You could weigh it with the fact that this is a human being that is involved, right? She's sick, she's telling you all form of stories. You could just weigh it to see if it is worth standing by. The interpreter of every policy is the problem. Now let me tell you guys this story. Back in the days, the very first branch of the bank that I worked, I had just resumed this branch, and this lady is a newbie. She was employed newly as well. Now, back then in the bank, you cannot go on leave until after 1 year. So you cannot be pregnant in the first 1 year of your employment. You have to serve the bank for at least 1 year before you can ever get pregnant. So this lady had just joined. Apparently, she was already pregnant before she joined the bank. I think she lied to the interviewers during the interview. Somehow, she got into the bank. I don't even remember how she got inside. But she was pregnant and she resumed. She was working normal until after a few months. Pregnancy now, you know if you hide pregnancy for long. The pregnancy was already, coming out after a few months. So her line manager, who is also a woman, had already told her, "Madam, this pregnancy, you will born this baby and you will resume work and you will work." They've already had this agreement because normally she was not supposed to be in that bank. In fact, she was not even supposed to be employed because she was pregnant. You cannot be pregnant for the first at least 1 year. So she had the agreement with her line manager and she started work. Unfortunately, when she gave birth through CS. Yes, she gave birth through cesarean operation. And she had to heal. Now, remember that the agreement between she and her line manager was a few days. I think it was 5 days that they agreed she was going to stay at home. Now, the situation was not how she planned it. She had given birth through CS. So she called the line manager and, back and forth. The line manager insisted that she must come to work. She insisted that she must come to work. This lady must work because she was not qualified for maternity leave. So, yeah, the lady agreed. Yes, she agreed to come to work. Now, it's not this banking that we are doing now that everything is automated. Back then there was no cashless policy. Back then and the area that we were working at that time was an industrial area. So almost all the checks, all the transactions were mostly third parties. And for every third party check, maybe if you process like 20 third party checks, you are going to have to stand up for at least 18 or 19 of them for every 20 transactions. So you will stand up, go and photocopy ID card, you will stand up, go and take pictures of the third party, take pictures of the instruments. So it was hectic. You have to stand up every single minute, like every now and then. So this lady agreed and she came to work. It was the very first day she came to work. She came to work and she was trying to climb the staircase and the stitches on her CS got broken and she fainted. In fact, it was dramatic. Eventually, she was rushed back to the hospital and she stayed many days. You see those days that the line manager refused to. She eventually spent it in the hospital because she was sick, like she almost died. She did not die. She almost lost her life in the process. Now, what am I saying? Is it that the policy of you have to serve the bank for 1 year was wrong? No, it was the fact that the woman could not interpret it, like she could not weigh it with the fact that this situation is peculiar. This thing has maybe not happened before, so she had to bend somehow. And she said she was not bending. She insisted that the policy must stand. So she decided to operate by the rule book, which ordinarily is not bad. But you have to weigh it with every situation, which sometimes is peculiar. You have to give the peculiar situation, you have to accord it the attention that it deserves. That is what happened in the case of this Unizik student that just lost her life. 100 level, promising young, beautiful young girl, just go like that. So while we are blaming policy, I see blaming policy as wrong. We should actually be blaming the interpreter of that policy for not properly interpreting that policy.